Welcome to Cloud AI. In this video we will be looking at conflict between the existing fiat system and the deflationary nature of exponential technology as stipulated by Jeff Booth in his article, The Greatest Game. But before we jump in, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It only takes a second and you can always change your mind later. Technological progress has led to exponential efficiency gains, resulting in deflationary pressures that should drive down prices in almost all industries. However, prices have not fallen because the existing monetary system, which requires inflation to remain viable, is incompatible with technological progress. This conflict must be resolved at a system level. On the one hand, technological progress requires a currency that allows for deflation, while on the other hand, the current fiat monetary system requires inflation and manipulation to remain viable. Without inflation, deflation would take hold and wipe out credit, destroying wealth. To compound the issue, governments and central banks are currently aligned to prevent widespread wealth destruction by socializing debt in the form of bailouts. Essentially, wealth is taken from the productive and working members of society along with the exponentially increasing gains created by technology, whilst large companies are incentivized to reach bailout or too big to fail status.
You live in a system where the entire system is insolvent.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to try to remain solvent. So you're playing by different rules than the system plays. And at the top of that system, if you're too big to fail, you get bailed out by the taxpayer over and over and over again. So what ends up happening is everybody races to try to be too big to fail. It creates the very incentive that to make essentially theft a base layer in the economy. And what would the mirror reflection of society look like if you had theft as a base layer of every trade? Right? Because that's what it looks like. Who would win in that environment? And theft is a harsh word, right? And so people don't, oh, no, it's not theft. Well, tell me what it is.
Policymakers missed the chance for a policy change that could have prevented a complete reset of the existing fiat system 20 years ago. They underestimated the exponential impact of technology on the economy, as evidenced by Nobel laureate economist Paul Krugman's 1998 quote, "By 2005 or so, it will become clear that the Internet's impact on the economy has been no greater than the fax machines." Instead, interest rates were manipulated lower to increase growth, but predictions of growth fell short against the reality of technological progress in the market. Lower rates and additional debt created limited growth, which would have caused deflation and made the debt unrepayable. Thus, the system required ever lower rates, leading to debt binges, misallocated capital, and asset bubbles.
So you have a mismeasure of growth. And so as you take more things out of the GDP calculation, photos, calculator apps, all of these things, videos, Zoom, all of these things, as automation does that work and those jobs are replaced by automation, then prices should fall. And that's net negative GDP. So then what makes up the difference in GDP? There's less things to be able to manipulate up in price.
Global debt rose to over $250 trillion in 2019, with $185 trillion of that new stimulus coming in the last 20 years. Thanks for watching. There is a link in the description to the full discussion. You will also find a link to Jeff Booth's article, The Greatest Game, where he outlines the full scope of his thesis. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.